Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're gonna give you your daily dose of dismal Disney.
Yep.
I guess this is completely unexpected because we talked about this before that Disney is cutting its park hours.
Yeah. Now it's not a lot. It's only like I think an hour for I want to say Magic Kingdom and Hollywood, and 2 hours for Animal Kingdom and Epcot. I believe that's what it is.
Yeah, but still, that's, you know...
You're paying so much. The hours were already limited. Now they're limiting them further. It's like you're paying to go on a trip, and there might not be a lot of crowds, even though people are complaining today that the wait times were 60 minutes plus, because there was a lot of people at Hollywood. And they said that there was wait times for 60 minutes for things, and that's with reduced crowds, quote unquote.
Yeah, Hollywood, I can see that being busier. Now, for those of you who missed it, Disney had their Q3 earnings call, and they were like $5 billion loss, but now some of that they juggled some money around or whatever. But this is the first time Disney has lost that much money ever, and it's only the second time in like the last 20 years they've lost money. They've been down. Of course, you know, the parks have been closed, and people aren't going.
Right.
And they even said Bob Chapek, Disney CEO Bob Chapek, even said that the demand has been kind of soft.
Yeah, they expected it to be a lot bigger than it was, because right after they opened it to bookings, they had that huge spike, that COVID spike in Florida. I mean, whether or not you believe it is not up for debate. The point was that because people thought there was a spike, they canceled reservations. I'm not going to sit here and do this with people, but so they did. So that this Morning Consult research company polled like 2,200 people for 5 days, just like a couple weeks ago.
Right.
About going back to different things. And it wasn't just theme parks. It was like going to the mall, going out to eat. It was a bunch of different things like that. And they asked people how they felt about, you know, if they felt secure enough doing that right now. And when it came to theme parks, it was like 72% said that, you know, no, not into the idea right now.
Right.
But it's not just that. The problem is if you go further down, keep going. Now you have this chart. Now this chart, the dark green, it means within the next month. The next one up is next 2 to 3 months. The one above that's next 6 months. More than 6 months, or don't know or have no opinion. When they ask people when they feel most comfortable, you'll see this is across the board for the most part. But theme parks is a 41%, and so is concert and traveling abroad are huge like percentages too. People don't feel comfortable for more than 6 months.
Yeah, and this is kind of, I mean, we've been talking about that before. Like, even if Disney opens, and they, you know, Disney World open, they're talking about Disneyland opening. Look, there's a lot of things to consider. Some people don't want to go because it's hotter than hell. They don't want to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask around the park. You're also paying full price, and you're not getting the full experience. Stuff is closed right now. Stuff is, you know, limited capacity. They're not doing, you know, the parades and the fireworks and all the stuff that you would expect for the price of your ticket. A lot, you know, so you're not getting the most bang for your buck for sure. Some of the hotels are shut down. Yeah, I just, you know, I think locals, I can see locals going, but, you know, if you had a family, I'm not going to travel to Disney World for 25% of the experience. Right. You know, and have to wear a mask all day and have to pay full price for that. Yeah. You know?
It's just, I don't know, a lot of people aren't. Like I said, locals are the ones that are probably going. A lot of people don't want to try. And then you have to face the fact that they lifted the tri-state ban. They had a ban in Florida that if you were coming from New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, you had to quarantine 2 weeks when you got into Florida. Yeah. And some states, like I think New York was demanding a quarantine when you got back. Well, they lifted the tri-state quarantine in Florida. However, a lot of states have initiated bans or like quarantines that when you come in back to your state from Florida, if you come to these states from Florida, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks because they're worried you're bringing it with you.
Yeah.
So, and they probably, you know, have some reason for that. So, you know, people aren't gonna, they can't go down and be quarantined for 2 weeks when they get home. People don't have been out of work. A lot of people still haven't got back to work. People don't have the money to give to Disney.
Yeah, and Disney needs to understand that. They seem to think like they keep talking about the pent up demand, and it's like, well, you know, a lot of people they're postponing their trips. They don't know, when it's going to be 100% clear to go back. Again, the mask thing, the finances. A lot of people have been out of work. They don't have $5,000 to drop on a trip to Disney World. Like,
only a fraction of the experience.
And that's one thing I got to talk about.
The hotels still aren't even open yet.
Oh my God, I got to talk about this because having worked on a Disney blog and having seen Disney drop these deals and seeing what they pushed before the pandemic. Disney, for some reason, thought that people could just like drop everything they're doing and go on a week-long vacation to Disney World.
Oh yeah, they would give you like no notice. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna do this new deal. You have 2 months to do it," and it's like, yeah, because everybody can just whip $5,000 out of their butt and go to Disney right now.
Well, even the time off, because the people they want make money, right? And the people who make money, a lot of times have higher pressure jobs that require more responsibility. So they're going to have to schedule time off. I know some of the jobs I've worked, you had to request that much time off like a year ahead of time. Because
they had to make sure that they did projects around you or had someone to cover. And, you can't always get that time off, just because, you decide like last minute that you want that time off. And we used to run into trouble with people we worked with before that they would get in their head that we're going to promote like Halloween, but we're not going to promote it until, July or, August. It's like it starts in August and people can't just turn around and go like next week because you can, and Disney doesn't seem to understand this.
Well, Disney is they're going to be understanding a great many things, I think, in the coming months and years. I mean, I've been reading where a lot of analysts are saying they think it's going to take 2 to 3 years for Disney's theme parks to get back to 100%.
I'm hearing 2024.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy, but it's going to take that long for everything to rebound. They're going to, slowly open things back up again. Some of the construction projects have been paused or canceled. Epic Universe at Universal, that's on hold for God knows how long. But it's going to be a slow rollout. They can't just like turn it back on. Everybody thinks they can just flip a switch and turn it back on.
And if you do turn it back on, it doesn't mean everybody's going to come back.
Right. And so what they're going to do, and this is where it gets tricky with cast members, is they're going to size it accordingly to how much demand there is. And unfortunately, and we've been hearing rumblings from people that, there might be cast members might get gone because the demand is not there like they thought it was going to be. We're also hearing
it could go 5 days a week.
Yes.
And who's going to flip and go the whole way there for 5? Because SeaWorld has already done it.
Yeah.
And we're hearing maybe this might happen around October-ish, we're hering. Something like that. It's a possibility. I don't know if it's true. It's a rumor. For those who don't know what rumor means, look it up. It doesn't mean we're saying it's the truth. But it's a rumor that it's possible they might go to 5 days a week.
Yeah, so under the new fall hours, this is beginning September 8th after Labor Day weekend. Epcot, and this is where, because usually this is Disney's busy time because they have all the fall events, they have food and wine, the
modified food and wine. But
they got rid of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. That was a big
But they are decorating for Halloween. They've confirmed they will be decorating. But it will not be Mickey's Not So Scary, which is sad because that is like one of the most amazing events they do, and I love it so much.
Just don't go close to Halloween. It's a zoo. One of the big benefits of going is that the park clears out, but if you go like the week of Halloween, it's good.
Well, last year I did a really cool thing that you could buy a pass. It was like $300. I forget how much it was. It was like a few $100. And if you were local, you can go as many times as you wanted. I mean, as long as it wasn't a blackout. I'm sure Halloween was blacked out and stuff. I was like, dang. I mean, that was a pretty good deal. If I was going to be down there for like a week or two, I would have bought the pass and gone 2 or 3 times. Anyway.
But yeah, this reduces the chance for evening dining and drinking. Can you drink down there? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, you can, as long as it's like drinks to go or whatever. No, I think they're lifting, or they're working on lifting, and they might have lifted already.
I don't know.
Some of the bar issues that they were working on before.
So Magic Kingdom closes at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. That's crazy.
Usually, even in the fall, it's like 9 or 10.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, in the summer, they keep it up until like midnight.
Well, Not So Scary, they're open till like midnight.
Yeah. Well, that might be part of the reason why they shut it down, because they don't want to be open that late, because they probably have to clean.
Right, I'm sure it's part of it.
And they don't want to pay for everybody to be there working those hours because they're pinched for money right now. Despite being the most difficult park to obtain a reservation for, Hollywood Studios will also close an hour earlier.
Magic Kingdom and Hollywood are an hour difference.
Yeah, so it's 10 to 7. The Studios park is still riding a wave of interest in Galaxy's Edge. Well, yeah, a lot of people didn't get a chance to go to Star Wars, didn't get a chance to ride Mickey and Minnie's.
Mickey and Minnie especially, because that was only open like a week or so when that went down. Well, a couple weeks. It was open like on the 4th or 5th.
Yeah, it was beginning of March.
Yeah, and then, it was only and it was just till they closed it, so people didn't get to see it.
Yeah, and we were actually supposed to go. We canceled the day before. We were going to go down for opening, and we canceled because my ear hurt. And to be honest, I wasn't feeling well. It wasn't that, but my ear hurt really bad, and I was having really bad issues with my ear, and I thought flying was probably the worst thing I could do when my ears were already a mess. I was not feeling well, so we didn't go because I wasn't feeling good. And then we were like, well, that's okay. We'll just go next month.
Yeah, because they were working with us to just reschedule it.
Yeah, we're gonna reschedule.
A month later, and then it all shut down. So
that didn't happen. So yeah, it's gonna be a long time till the parks come back online fully, and Disney's gonna be hurting for money for a while. This is I know the stock jumped up because people.
I still don't get that. Where can you lose that much money and your stock goes up?
Because I think people think the worst is behind them, but it's like, you don't understand.
That's not.
Just because they're open doesn't mean they're going to be making money, and now they got to pay employees too.
Right, because they lost all that money when they mentioned before. Most of their employees were laid off in that quarter.
Right.
So they weren't paying employees for most of that, and they still lost that much money.
Yeah.
Now employees are back, but they're saying that it's above overhead, but they weren't saying by how much. But the general consensus seemed to be that it wasn't doing great. And now people are saying on that poll they might not go back. They don't feel comfortable for at least 6 months.
Yeah. It's going to be a while, guys. Disney is going to be, they're going to beat the Disney Plus drum for the next couple of years, because that's about the only positive thing they have going for them right now.
And now they're going to charge $30 for that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because everybody's taking potshots at now. They're like, oh yeah, okay, they're just making it up as they go. And they were. I honestly think Mulan was like, they made that decision like that week.
He kind of said, he's like, oh, it's not our new business plan unless it works really well. And that, basically what he said is, not we're planning as a one-off. But we're not gonna say no if it works well, is basically what he was saying.
Yeah, if we can make money, we're gonna milk it.
Keep doing it, yeah.
We're gonna milk it, absolutely, and they'll do the same thing with Black Widow if they have to.
Yeah, if it does well, they'll continue that trend. I guarantee it, because he said no, it's not our business model. It's a one-off. But then he did get something in there along the lines, unless it does really well, and then we'll re-examine it.
So Engadget, they were scathing. They're like, who wants to pay $30 to watch the Mulan remake on Disney Plus? No, seriously, who? I'm asking because Disney also seems pretty confused about the whole thing. I'm fairly sure they're just making everything up as they go.
I think so too.
Disney announced during the earnings call that the long-awaited Mulan would arrive on September 4th as a premium offering. They're going to keep doing this. I'm telling you, it's going to be, you're going to have Disney Plus as your base subscription, but if you want stuff early or you want the good stuff, the new releases, they're going to upcharge you just like they do in the theme parks.
And I want to point out again, during the meeting, they did not mention that it was going to be a $30, you get to keep it.
Yeah.
They just said it was going to be a $30 on demand. I don't think that they really slipped and didn't mention how we're going to do it, or they're like, people didn't like that. I'm not paying $30 to watch it one time, because they're probably thinking you pay that to go to the movies with the family, and then the next day, oh no, you get to keep it for that.
Well, yeah, look, see, this is what they're saying. They're saying the spokesperson said you'll have access to the film as long as you're a Disney Plus subscriber. That's great news if you're hoping to rewatch it, but it's definitely a strange way to handle a purchase. You're not purchasing it. You're unlocking it. iTunes or Vudu don't demand a monthly subscription for you to access films you already own, so I'm not sure how Disney can justify it. They could allow it to sync up with Movies Anywhere.
But they're not saying that, which is what we were wondering, because we thought that's what they would do, but it's not. But it was interesting, though. It was really interesting to us, because we're like, $30 for a rental? And then the next day, it was like, after the internet lost their crap over it. Oh, no, you get to keep it, but only as long as you're a member of Disney Plus, which says to me they added the after, didn't plan it out. Yeah. Because they would have been like Movies Anywhere and everything else. They had planned it out. They didn't have it planned out.
No, it just, they just kind of, that week there, because what they needed some good news to offset the bad news, which is what Disney always does.
Well, this means though, if you want to watch it at all, you have to go subscribe to Disney Plus first.
Yes.
It's just.
Yeah, and so
it's going to cost you much more than the $30.
Yeah, and what if this becomes the normal way that Disney does things, and you accumulate a library of like 30, 40 titles, and you decide, well, I don't want to keep paying for Disney Plus, do you lose all those titles?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, so that's kind of bullshit, you know? I mean, they should be like, well, no, it'll just port to, you know, Vudu or whatever, which maybe they'll do if there's enough pushback, but it sounds to me like you're just unlocking certain movies on the platform. You know?
Right. Plus your monthly subscription. So whatever the cost that movie is, add $7 also, because for every month that you have it, and that's how much it's costing you.
Yeah, and even that price point, like, they're still gonna lose money, because just imagine how much they would get in, you know, if they could get butts and seats.
No, because they're gonna get to keep all of it.
Well,
where
that's true.
if they went to the theaters, you have the distributors, you have the theaters chains, you have all their cuts and all that, and then they just get a percentage of it. This way, because it's on Disney Plus, and they're not even sharing it with Vudu. I mean, they're not even sharing it with Vudu, even though, do they own part of Vudu now? I don't even remember.
Walmart owns Vudu. I'm trying to think who owns.
They sold it.
No, they did sell it. Who did they sell it to? Fandango. They sold Fandango.
And Fandango has ties to Disney. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but they're, you know, if they went there, they'd have to still give up a cut. This way, they keep all the money. All the monies go to them.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that, because the movie theaters are not happy, obviously. We did a video the other day and got a lot of views about the movie theater owner smashing the Mulan display.
That was funny.
That was hilarious, but a lot of theater owners are upset, and it gets even worse because now the, the Paramount laws have been rolled back, so now studios technically could buy movie theaters.
Yeah.
Like, Disney could technically have Disney movie theaters.
Well, they better not if they're laying off their employees and they don't have any money as an investor. You better not go buy any damn movie theaters.
Yeah, so, I mean, this whole thing is gonna, I think what's gonna happen is we're gonna have all these streaming services gobble up movie theaters and be like, oh yeah, you can go, you know, check it out physically in the meat space. You can go, what the hell's meat space? But you can go watch a movie for real in an actual theater, and then, you know, we'll give you a code, and then you can go home and watch it on our streaming service or something. It's gonna change everything. It's all gonna change, but the thing is you're not going to get I don't think you're going to get these billion-dollar box office takes anymore. Because it's going to be so fractured, and these companies can hide the streaming numbers.
Right. And before, I mean, come on, they were having these big box office, and you go and find all the theater seats empty. I mean,
yeah, I mean, Disney is very good at pushing numbers around, but I think it's going to be the same thing here. Like, they may never tell you if a movie flopped, like if Mulan does terrible. Let's just say Mulan does terrible. If it just is catastrophic, they will never tell you, yeah, it only made like $5 million.
It's like we never get the numbers on She-Ra.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
Well, yeah, they don't have to. Netflix doesn't have to report. You know, if they're not going through a theater system, these companies do not have to report the income.
Change the subject for a second. Why the heck are they making a Dirty Dancing 2?
Why? There's no Patrick Swayze.
Because we have to redo everything that was already done. Make new things. God. How hard is it?
Does anybody want to see Jennifer Grey dirty dance now? Mel,
Some
maybe.
people might.
Maybe. I don't know. That could get. I hope they're not going to like CGI Patrick Swayze.
No, they're
or
just
something.
saying Jennifer Grey.
Well, who's she going to dirty dance with?
She's probably teaching somebody else how to dirty dance.
Like her kids?
I don't know. I don't know. That's just messed up.
Mama's going to show you how to dirty dance.
No.
You're gonna have the time of your life.
No.
I'm gonna put my baby in a corner. I don't know. I just think this is gonna change everything. Disney is gonna be very, very desperate. They're gonna be very desperate, and we're gonna see some very desperate things, I think, in the coming months. And they're gonna smile. They're gonna say things are fine. Things are totally fine.
They're not gonna tell you they're not.
They're not gonna tell you that because that drops the stock.
Stock is king.
The stock is king. So just wait a couple months. It's going to get through to people that it's going to be a long haul, that Disney is going to be without billion-dollar box office hits for a while. They're going to be without massive theme park attendance for a while, and Mickey's going to be a little broke. It's going to be broke. So gonna wrap this one up?
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.